Even in death, Jeffrey Epstein's secrets refused to rest. But earlier this year, a Wired investigation shattered part of that silence by uncovering the hidden digital footprints of nearly 200 mobile phones belonging to visitors to his notorious Caribbean hideout, Little St. James. The data was stunningly precise. It allowed investigators to map the movements of guests with uncanny accuracy down to the very buildings they came from, the neighborhoods they lived in, and the winding paths that carried them to Epstein's so-called pedophile island. Each red dot on the recreated map represented not just a coordinate, but a revelation. In total, 11,279 separate data points. What emerged was a chilling portrait, an endless stream of wealthy and influential individuals flowing in and out of the island between 2016 and Epstein's final arrest in 2019. These were not the days of ignorance by then. Epstein was already a convicted sex offender, yet the flow of traffic hardly slowed. The company behind the exposed trail was a little-known data broker with ties to the U.S. Defense Department, Near Intelligence. It had gathered the information through the hidden machinery of the digital ad industry, where apps quietly siphon data from phones and sell it to shadowy middlemen. Normally, this data feeds targeted advertising. Here, it charted the hidden geography of Epstein's empire. The maps showed not only where visitors lingered on Little St. James, the main mansion with its pool, the sprawling sundial, the beaches, and of course the mysterious hilltop temple, but also tracked them before and after their stay. The surveillance followed them to the Cyril E. King Airport on nearby St. Thomas, where Epstein's private jet, the infamous Lolita Express, often landed. It revealed clusters of activity at luxury resorts like the Ritz-Carlton and at Epstein's own marina on St. Thomas, from which ferries carried guests across turquoise waters to his private dock. Sometimes the paths traced through Great St. James, the larger neighboring island Epstein purchased in 2016 for $22 million. Where he once hoped to build yet another lavish compound until environmental regulators accused him of destroying coral reefs and protected habitats. Helicopters, too, appear in the story. His Sikorsky S-76 often carried guests between airports, yachts, and the island itself. The most disturbing revelation was the sheer volume of activity. From 2016 to 2019, the island remained a revolving door of traffic, even after Epstein's past crimes were public knowledge. The data didn't stop at the island's shorelines either. It followed phones back across the United States, pinpointing 166 locations in 80 cities across 26 states. Florida, Massachusetts, Texas, Michigan, and New York topped the list. The results were a mix of glamour and unease. Signals pinged from gated communities in Michigan, oceanfront estates in Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, mansions in Palm Beach, and even outside Trump Tower in New York City. Clubs in downtown Miami, suburban neighborhoods, and ordinary apartment blocks appeared, two reminders that not all who came were billionaires. Some may have been employees, some victims. The digital trail blurred those lines. And yet, conspicuously, there were no data points in Europe. This absence raised questions. Were Europeans absent from Epstein's circle? Hardly. He owned a Parisian residence. His associate Jean-Luc Brunel was based in France, and survivors testified about European connections. The likelier explanation: Europe's GDPR privacy laws, the toughest in the world, shielded European data from being captured in the same way. Under America's weaker protections, however, companies like Near could harvest astonishingly invasive details and make them searchable, even publicly accessible. The Wired team found that the maps of Epstein's island had been left exposed online, unsecured, and discoverable by Google's own crawlers. They were not alone. Other geofence datasets existed too, unrelated to Epstein, one charting a mall in the Netherlands, another tracking a park in El Paso, Texas. The message was clear: if such precise surveillance could be conducted on Epstein's guests, it could be done to anyone. The investigation ended with a chilling reminder: if you don't want your life mapped and sold, disable ad tracking on your phone, limit location services, and block third-party cookies. Because somewhere, right now, a data broker may be watching your every step. As for the island itself, its fate has already shifted. In May 2023, billionaire Stephen Deckoff purchased both Little and Great St. James for $60 million. His plan: to erase the island's infamy with a glossy new resort by 2025. Whether that resort will succeed in drowning out the ghosts of Epstein's empire remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Ghislaine, Maxwell Epstein's closest confidant and enabler, was sentenced in 2021 on 5 counts, including trafficking minors by force. Federal agents had tracked her to her New Hampshire hideout the same way the visitors were traced through her phone's location data. In the end, the digital trails of Epstein's world revealed something deeper than just where people walked. They revealed a haunting truth. In an age of surveillance, the shadows we think are hidden can always be brought into the light.